Good. Well, we're going to go ahead and get started with this week's CybHER Conversation. My name is Katie Shuck, and I am the Executive Outreach Director of CybHER at Dakota State University here in Madison, South Dakota. I have with me today Kanthi Narukonda, who is our Outreach Director at CybHER. We also have Drs. Pam Rowland and Ashley Podorotsky, who are the co-founders of CybHER. They founded CybHER back in 2013. They're also both faculty at the university in the College of Computer and Cyber Sciences. And then we have with us today Noureen Njoroge, who is a wonderful, wonderful cybersecurity specialist, a mentor and advocate for women in cybersecurity. I am thrilled that she is here to join us today. I'm not going to say a whole lot about her because she will be speaking about her too, but she is a threat intelligence specialist at Cisco Engineers. If you do have any questions for her, please feel free to submit those in the Q&A that you'll find at the bottom of your screen, and we will be doing Q&A afterwards. Kanthi is going to be facilitating that. So any questions, just submit through the Q&A. But Noureen, we're going to go ahead and get started with you and just let you take it away, and I will share what you had sent to me.
Well, thank you, Kathy. Awesome. I'm delighted and excited to be here. It's an honor and opportunity just to share my journey and motivate and encourage others in this journey of cybersecurity. For my education, I graduated from University of Massachusetts, majoring in information technology, and then went to University of Massachusetts doing my undergrad, right? Then headed on to MIT, where I did my cybersecurity program. I like giving back to the community. So I like to mentor. So I'm the founder of the Mentor and Mentee Women in Cybersecurity on LinkedIn, and also the global mentoring person here, program running here at Cisco Systems. I'm also the president of Women in Cybersecurity here in North Carolina. As you can see, I'm busy helping others treading this journey. Other than working at Cisco, I like to motivate others with quotes. One of my favorite quotes here, as you can see on my screen, it says, "We rise by lifting others." I believe I can't do it alone. I need you, you need me, we need each other in order to make it better for everybody else. I like sharing knowledge, my resources. I'm a globally known as a keynote speaker. And I also got an award here at Cisco last year as the Cybersecurity Champion, which I was nominated by my peers. So you see, when you do good, others recognize you and nominate you. But let's stop talking about me. Let's talk about us and you. Let me give you a story about myself. When I started my career in the industry of cybersecurity, I didn't know there was anything like cybersecurity. I went to school for information technology. Growing up, my parents were, you either be a doctor, a lawyer, or a physician. I didn't like the hospitals. I don't like going back and forth in confrontation in the law courtroom. So I decided I'm gonna create my path. When I was in school, some classes became very challenging for me, and I reached out to my teachers to assist me, to give me the right career path. And one of my professors gave me the guidance and said, "You're very good in analytical thinking. How about look into engineering and start pursuing that way?" And that's how I found myself in the engineering field. Why did I share that? Because it's good to ask questions. I ask questions every day. Part of my job here at Cisco Systems as a threat intel specialist consulting engineer is asking those questions. Where did the attacker come from? Why are they attacking our network? What is it that they are after? How did they come into our network? That kind of curiosity has gotten me into cybersecurity. And I want to encourage every little student, middle school, high school, and even us who are adults, never kill your curiosity. Keep on asking those questions. In college, I remember when I was in MIT, my professor used to say, "Does anybody have any other question other than Noureen?" Because they knew that guy will always ask questions. I was curious, and curiosity still keeps me in this industry. In my day-to-day work, when I go to work in the morning, I'm always, because of my curiosity, the threat actors that I was chasing yesterday have changed their tactics come today when I wake up. So I'm curious to find out what's trending on the threat landscape. What is the threat landscape? It's where we tend to see what's going on in the market. Like we know when we see unemployment numbers going up or people getting their jobs market going up. Same applies to cyber threats. Sometimes they go up, sometimes they go down. We've seen a lot of phishing attacks. This is whereby they send you information, try to lure you to provide more information that you're not supposed to, right? So with that curiosity, it helps me in my day-to-day work to identify why the attackers are constantly attacking us. And for my part of my curiosity is also sharing that knowledge with my team members and also with women when I'm mentoring, or even when we have a team meeting or a Zoom meeting like we have right now, right? Sharing those knowledge, that resource, and be able to make the community better. I remember the journey wasn't easy, to be honest with you. Sometimes you get to a roadblock where you don't know, am I really trending the right direction or not? And that is where you need a mentor. I remember when I started my career, yes, I have the education. I've graduated from MIT. I have my cybersecurity career on my path, but I needed somebody to walk me through to understand just the cybersecurity realm, right? What is that? What are the frameworks used? How do you apply them if it's an organization or even a small business? It was a challenge because I was remember I said I'm very curious, right? So anybody I approached to be my mentor, I had so many questions for them. And sometimes I think maybe it might have overwhelmed them, but my persistence kept me going and I was able to narrow down to good mentors. How do you identify a good mentor? Is one who's able to listen, one who's able to give you guidance, one who's able to understand where you're coming from and be able to pave that way for you. So find a mentor, one who is even not only just on working maybe with you or going to the same school. Your teachers can be your mentor. My college professors were my mentor in my career. At my place of work, I talked to so many other members, fellow Cisco engineers, to be my mentors. Even your parents can be your mentors. Your friends can be your mentors too. Ask those questions. Don't be afraid because you can't do it alone at all. And that led me even to creating the mentorship, not only just here within the city of North Carolina, but also globally on LinkedIn, over 4,000 plus women over there from all around the globe, because cybersecurity is not just within the US, it's a global movement, it's a global event. So therefore you need to hear what other attacks are happening or what's happening on other parts of the world. In that group where women can to share with one another, not only resources, but also be able to provide counseling or even support, because sometimes we as women, honestly, in this industry, we need to uplift each other for real, because it is tough. It can be intimidating because others have trended along for a long time and we just may be barely making it. And for we who have already made it, let's not forget those who are trying to enter the journey. And also I would advocate, continue to learn. Just because I've already done my education and I've gotten my cybersecurity career on my path, that does not mean I stop learning. This industry is dynamic. It's constantly changing. So every day I'm reading something new, a new research. And if I'm not reading, I'm writing a blog, sharing with others. But keep on learning because the industry is so dynamic and you can't afford just to sit back and just think the knowledge you had 10, 15 years ago will carry you forward. In terms, they say you either adapt or become extinct. And I don't want you, my friends, to become extinct. I would like you to continue growing and becoming so successful. On top of just finding even a mentor, it's also good also to find a sponsor, somebody who can advocate for you. The difference between a mentor and a mentor will give you the guidance and the path, but a sponsor will be able to speak on your behalf behind those closed doors in the boardroom, right? Or even when you're applying for a job and you're asking for a recommendation, they can vouch for you and say, I've been working with this person. I know they can do this job. They're the best candidate, somebody who can sponsor you, advocate for you. And for the women who have already made up in this industry, I would recommend, please, be advocate for others, be sponsors for others, so that we can make this industry better. We always there ready to help. We always ready to assist. And by no means, please feel free to reach out to me, maybe even on LinkedIn, my social media platform, or Twitter, or what have you. Feel free to reach out. We're always glad to help. Have I reached my end destination in cybersecurity? Of course not. I like to tell my friends, even my mentees, cybersecurity is a journey and not a destination. We constantly getting to know each other. We're getting to build a network. I always emphasize these 3 E's. Get your education, get your experiences, and get your exposure. Those 3, education, experience, and exposure will keep you going through this industry of cybersecurity. And once you identify the arena of cybersecurity or any science or technology that you want to pursue, master it and become the subject matter expert. Yes, for example, for me in cybersecurity, there are so many domains of cybersecurity, but I chose I want to be in threat intel. That is what I like, and that's my passion. So I've pursued it to the fact that when I hear about a certain threat, I can tell you, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 about it. However, I need to research more. But because I have perfected my skill set in that arena, at least I have a glimpse knowledge. So that's my recommendation I would also offer everyone in this industry. Find the domain in cybersecurity that you're really, really passionate about and polish it and become the subject matter expert. And as you continue to grow, please share with others by writing blogs, write a book, host a webinar, a conference like what we are having right now, because others out there, they're looking unto us to support them. Again, remember, we rise by lifting each other. I can't do it alone, you can do it alone, and therefore we need each other. I'll hold over there, Kate, and I'll take any questions or if you have any questions for me.
I love that. I love that quote, we rise by lifting others. That is so true. In today's world, especially what you just said, we have so many difficulties, so many obstacles our way. We can't afford to tear each other down. We can't. And I love that. So we have a couple of questions from our audience. So you said you are curious and you liked asking questions. So do people get annoyed when you ask too many questions?
No, honestly, no, because I don't just come direct and just say, I have a question for you. I engage it with a story, right? I say, I'll take hypothetically the story of maybe there's a cyber breach we saw on the news or something like, let's say COVID is happening, right? And I'll say, man, the numbers seem to be rising. I'm curious if there's a way we can support. Do you have any idea of what we can do to make it better? Right? So try to bring them into the conversation, not just being a one-way way of asking the question, but engaging them, encouraging them to join the dialogue and to see their perspective. So my questions are not just direct, my questions are engaging and involving you to have that dialogue conversation.
That is awesome. Mm-hmm. That way they don't get annoyed, we get answers to our questions, everybody wins. Yes,
because you want to be a dialogue, right? Not just and you also want to hear their opinion, right? So it's also a good way to learn how to frame your questions, right? You don't just want to say, what is your name, or like how Kate says, Noureen, how do you pronounce your last name? She said, Noureen, I like your name, and I was attempting to pronounce it, and this was how I took upon it, and then I chimed in and I told her this is how you really pronounce it. So she invited me in her question dialogue, for example.
Awesome. So what or who would you say was your biggest inspiration throughout your career?
I would say, honestly, my parents, they really pressured me to be the best I am. And when I told them this is the career path I took, they really advocated for me and they tell me, just go, just drive with it. My college professors too, they understood. I remember, it's interesting that you asked that question because when originally, when I started college, right, I did college algebra, I was having a hard time with it. And I approached my professor and I said, I don't seem to be making it. He says, Noureen, you're very analytical. Start taking calculus classes. Let's see how you did. I did those, they were easy breeze, right? So if I didn't ask that question, I wouldn't have gotten that. So that's my professors, my parents, and just my curiosity, just wanting to know, to be better. I think, Kanti, I think you're still on mute.
Oh no.
That's okay.
It happens a
That
lot.
beauty of technology, right?
Yeah. So someone just said, from your experiences, you sound like you've always been very confident. What advice do you have for someone who has a tendency to be a little shy or not as confident?
I like that question because I've found people who find themselves in that situation. It's not that they're shy. It's because either maybe one day they had an experience where they asked a question and they were put off. I would say just speak up. You never know. You're never gonna know unless you ask the question. The answer will always be no. But because you want to know the answer, ask, right? And confidence you build as time goes by. I remember I couldn't stand on a stage and speak to an audience. Okay, when they say, okay, Noureen, come to the stage, I was there crunching my fingers, my nails. But I remember my professor told me, Noureen, remember, you're the only one who thinks you're nervous. Everyone else is looking at you saying, wow, she made it on that stage. Those words really kicked in me and realized, oh my, okay, I can do it. And also the other thing is the fact to know that in whatever you're doing to help somebody else. So once you have that mantra behind you, say, I can do this not only for me, but the person who's listening to this, it will give you that comfort and confidence to do it. And ask others to do it. I do practice in front of the mirror. Before I even did this WebEx, I went in the mirror and I said, hi, my name is Noureen. Do a practice, right? Remember, we all get nervous. It's only that it's a matter of perfection. You take time, keep practicing and practicing, and you get better. And I can also advise the person who asked that question, Kanti, maybe they can sign up for Toastmasters. It's a good program where it teaches people how to speak in front of an audience, build that self-confidence, and also be able to give them coaching and guidance how to be a better speaker or just to come out of their bubble.
Could you mention the program again in case someone missed it?
Toastmasters. And I think,
Toastmasters.
yeah, we can type it on the chat. Yeah, give me 1 minute. Yeah, they have them all over. And they can even find a YouTube session and they give tips how to do it.
Nice. But like you said, it comes down to practice, I would say. I couldn't speak either. Like when I came to the States, I had to give a presentation in one of my classes. I knew what I wanted to say. I knew the subject. I knew the PowerPoint by heart. But when I got down there, it wasn't even a big class. It's just, I'd never done that. And I kind of like stuttered, stammered, and I blew it. I got good marks, of course, but it took a lot of practice for me to be able to talk freely, to ask questions freely. So I do understand how difficult it can be to build up that. So we have questions about the threat intel work you do. What was the worst threat that you've ever faced?
They happen every day, honestly. All these ransomware attacks, right? Where you hear organizations getting attacked and you have to help them to get out of it. It's either you help them recover or they have to pay the millions of dollars they're asking. But personally, I've encountered whereby a very close family friend, their banking account got hacked and they went to apply for a loan and they were told, you don't have that doesn't belong to you, it belongs to somebody else. And just helping them understand what happened, what could have done better, and just seeing it real, right? Because sometimes you can hear it in the news, but when it hits home, it's different. Or when it comes close to somebody you really know, it feels different. So, and having said that, so that's why I share a lot of knowledge and resources, teaching people that basic cyber hygiene. Change your password. Don't use the same password across all screens, right? And also use multi-factor authentication, so that you can be better protected. And don't use your email address everywhere website you visit. If you should have separate email addresses, maybe one email that you do your personal information where you communicate with your family, another email for signing up, maybe for webinars, conferences, another email just for, you're doing online shopping, so that if one account is hacked, at least you have 2 or 3 backups and not just have one single point of entry for that attacker.
I love the one about the emails. I have like 4 or 5. I have one that I even named junk mail. I just sign up for offers when you go to stores and stuff. They ask you, hey, can we get your email? I just give them that email. Everything is in one folder.
Nice,
So,
nice, yeah.
How did you get to your job at Cisco?
Interesting. I was working, I'm here in North Carolina. I was in Boston going to school over there. And I finished my school. When I finished University of Massachusetts, I found my first job working as a system admin at Bose Corporation. And I was working there, I liked it. Then my family decided they need to relocate. And here I am relocating. And I'm like, okay. I was used to Boston, which was fine. Now I'm in a new territory. Then I reached out to my professor again. Remember, I'm always pointing back to my professors because they have been my mentors throughout this journey. And I asked them, can you help me write my resume? Because when I got my first job, they recruited me from campus, from school. They came there and they did a seminar and they picked up the top students they wanted to pick. So here I am now. I'm like, okay, I need to write a resume. Write me a resume, posted it on LinkedIn. I'm not on LinkedIn, on the job posting platforms. And I received a phone call. The Cisco called me and they said, would like to interview you for a role. I walked in there and it was interesting. There were there was five men who interviewed me. So I'm seated across 5 men and I'm sitting on the other side of the table. I looked at that table and I said, I think I got this job because these 5 people could not have taken their time off just to come talk to me if I was not really qualified for it. And speaking on confidence, I made sure I aced that interview. Before the end of the interview, I had my answer whether I was going to work at Cisco or not. But I knew when I was going there, I was going to work there because I was not going to let myself fail this one opportunity. Because remember, opportunity knocks only once, right? And I always say, always be prepared for an opportunity that you do not have, than have an opportunity and then you're not ready for it. I was ready. I'd done my education. I had my work experience and I knew I was going to get it.
I love that. The confidence. I wish I could be like that someday.
It's the opportunity. It knocks once, right? So just go for it. Go for it. Don't shy. Give it your best, right? And just to add on that, Kathy, when anybody is going for a job interview, by the end of the interview, just ask, when they ask you, do you have any question for us? Of course, ask about the diversity of the company, ask about how the teams function, ask about the career growth, right? Even say, I see this job has 10 requirements. I see I fit 5, and that is why I applied for this job. But these are the 5, I know very well I'm not qualified for them, but that is why I applied so that I can grow with the company as I grow in this arena, these areas that I'm missing over here. So I can see myself growing in this company. So you become your own self-advocate, I can see myself growing with this company. I can see myself giving my best and helping the company grow further. And you can even say, before you go for the interview, you need to have researched about the company, right? And you can say, I can see the company is trying to move into this public sector, maybe trying to move to cloud. And you can say, I can be the champion helping your company moving to, cloud premises, for example. Advocate for yourself. And before you leave, ask, is there anything that has deterred me not to get this job? Because from my end, I think I have done the best I can, and I would like to know the answer so that I can better improve myself for the next job interview. If that was the case, I didn't get these ones. And honestly, they'll be able to give you an answer. But if you don't ask, remember the answer is always no.
So at your job, what coding language do you interact with the most, if any?
Python.
Python.
Yeah.
And what's the best part about working at Cisco?
The culture. I love the culture. And the culture is made by the people. We are such a very strong team, oriented, people-centric, and customer-centric. So that makes it fun, right? Because when you're working together, you'll be able to produce better results and be able to even impact outside Cisco walls. So the culture.
What was the biggest challenge that you've faced throughout your career? What was your mountain?
Finding a mentor, because I really wanted to succeed in cybersecurity. I really did. You can see my passion. I wanted to become the subject matter expert in my domain of cybersecurity. And I needed a mentor who really understood where I was coming from and where I wanted to go. That was a very sensitive or challenging moment for me. And once I mastered that, I said, I don't want any other female or any other person in this industry to go through what I went through. And that's why I launched the Mentor and Mentee Women in Cybersecurity on LinkedIn. And then the global mentoring platform here at Cisco too, just to help others, open them to my network and also to have other people step in to be as mentors. So the mentees meet their mentors and the mentors meet their mentees. And it becomes a nice relationship both ways to help others. So
We have one question. Who is your mentor?
I have several. I have several of them, several of them. Gary Heisp, he's the CISO for SoftBank or SatBank. I don't know, one of the bank, but he's one of my, and he's written many security books. Omar Santos, he writes a lot of Cisco Press books here at Cisco. He's one of my greatest cheerleaders, great mentors, and many others. I'm not going to mention them just for their confidentiality, but those two, they like it when I mention them, so it's good. Me and them, we're cool.
I was unmuted, but I thought I was.
It's technology.
Muted, so.
That's technology for us, right?
So, what kind of legacy do you want to leave in the cyber world?
One that advocates for all, and one that everybody feels inclusive, meaning everybody has something to bring at the table, so that we can all have that different perspective, mindset share, bringing up ideas, and also one that's safe, right? Because in everything we do, even what I do right now, I don't do it for me, I do it for the next generation, sharing that knowledge, paying it forward, passing it on to the next generation. So advocates for them, keep sharing resources with them, keep speaking on their behalf, helping them up and making it better for everyone in this industry.
Our final two questions for you. What's
Only
the
two?
coolest? Well, we're running out of time.
That's okay. I understand. I understand.
What's the coolest thing that you've ever done?
Helping others get into this industry of cybersecurity. Just a mentor reaching out to me saying, thank you so much, Noureen. Were it not for you, I don't know how I would have navigated this career. And just seeing somebody else's career lighten up after being huddled up for such a long time, that I feel very happy helping and giving back.
And our final question, what's the biggest advice that you would give to the youth that are watching this right now?
Like I say, the 3 E's: get your education, get your experience by helping either your teachers, writing a blog, or being innovative, start writing or coding, right? And then getting exposure. Build a circle of network of people who can motivate you, inspire you, and encourage you in your education.
That is wonderful, Noureen, and we are so thrilled that you got to join us today. So I am going to go ahead and start a poll for all of our viewers. If you can just answer that so we know a little bit more about everybody that is here joining us. And for those who are watching the recording of this, we thank you for coming, and we hope that you'll continue to watch the rest of the content on our CybHER Learning channel. They're on YouTube. But I do want to remind everybody, you can send us an email or on our website or in your registration for future ones. You can put your address down and get one of our CybHER Flat Girls that you can share all over social media and see how far she goes. We want CybHER Girl to go all around the globe. So we also have next week, we have Angela Davis Dogan joining us, who is a risk security expert, a risk management expert. And so we hope you'll sign up. You can get information on our website right now, as well as we have the rest of August and September already planned out. So you can see all of our upcoming speakers that are joining, and you are not going to want to miss any of our exceptional women that we're featuring. So we are so glad that we got to have you here today. Thank you, Noureen. And we look forward to seeing everybody in future CybHER conversations. So have a great day.
Thank you.